Hello and welcome to Season 2 of Music Rewind, a podcast where we look to tell the stories behind our favorite albums. I'm your host, Steve Epley, and in each episode I will invite a guest on to tell us about their favorite music album, how they discovered it, and what makes it special to them. Hey there, listeners. A few months ago, I had the opportunity to collaborate with Jack Robertson of the Musings of an ADD Mind podcast. You might remember Jack from our episode covering The Soft Bulletin by the Flaming Lips. Well, Jack asked me to moderate a debate, and not just any debate, the greatest rock and roll question there is, Roth versus Hagar, the ultimate Van Halen Showdown. Enjoy the episode here, and then check out Jack's show, Musings of an ADD Mind, wherever you listen to great podcasts.
All right, boys. I'm gonna put my vanilla Dixie cups on flavors and push up to under ice cream man. Stop me with a bouncy vibe. See now all my flavors guaranteed satisfied.
Jack here of Musings of an ADD Mind. When my kids finally convinced me to start a podcast, I had no idea as to where to begin. When I discovered Anchor, I knew that I had found the solution. Anchor is the easiest way to start and make a podcast. It's everything you need, all for free. Anchor will give you the tools to record and edit your podcast from either your phone or computer. And when you're done, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, as well as a plethora of other podcast apps. And you can make money from your Anchor podcast with no minimum listenership. Did I mention that it's free? So if you too want to start a podcast, you can go to your app store and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Welcome to the Musings of an ADD Mind podcast. This is your host, Jack, and I have the ADD Mind. Finally, after 5.5 months of talking about it, the Van Halen lead singer showdown is occurring. Now, depending on how this goes, my wife is on the opposite team than I am. I might be sleeping on the couch tonight if, as I suspect, Team Hagar is going to destroy Team Roth. So there is that, but I'm very happy to announce that this is being done with Stephen Epley, who's the host of Music Rewind podcast, where people come on and talk about their favorite albums. It is an excellent podcast. I highly recommend it, especially if you like music. And if you don't like music, you should listen to it to find out some damn fine albums. So there's that. And so we're going to, the way this is going to work, we have the teams. There are 5 categories. Stephen's going to be our moderator. And we each are going to get, he'll ask the questions. A person can have up to 3 minutes per question to make their case. He's going to assign points at the end. We know the first 3 questions that are going to be asked, but then there's the last 2. We have no idea. Stephen's going to fill us in on or ask us those, so we got to be sharp and on our toes. But I can tell you the first 3 questions are going to be, who is better at not being able to drive 55 miles an hour? The next question is, who has the better natural red curly hair? And the third one is, who was probably the better gymnast when they were younger? So anyway, no, those aren't actually the real questions, but he's going to assign points. And then if there's a tie at the end, we're going to have to break down which is a better Van Halen song with love in it. David Lee Roth talking about love, or Sammy Hagar's Why Can't This Be Love? And then one member from the team will get to make the case in case of a tie. And then just for the hell of it afterwards, we're going to talk about who's the better bassist, Michael Anthony or Wolfgang Van Halen. So with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Stephen, and he's, I guess, going to start moderating this bad boy. So she's all yours.
Okay, everyone, gentlemen, lady. The legendary 1957 guidebook, Competitive Debate Rules, Techniques, and Decorum by George McCoy Musgrave will not be followed. Instead, I expect a rowdy, unruly, and chaotic debate that is befitting the subject matter. Each team will have 3 minutes to plead their case per category. earning a point total of 1 through 5 per category. And after 5 categories, highest point total wins. Any questions?
I'm good.
All right. David Lee Roth versus Sammy Hagar. The Great Showdown. Question 1 goes to the David Lee Roth team, which chronologically I think is the best starting point.
I agree.
Which frontman had the best stage presence? Team Roth, go.
Would you like me or you to go first, Heather?
Go for it, Brandon.
I mean, this is a gimme.
It is.
This is the category that's all David Lee Roth. I mean, sure, like if you're seeing Van Halen in 2022 and you're like 65 years old and you don't want to have a good time or get out of your seat, you want to just stay seated. Maybe you just listen to some Ronnie Millsap on the way up to the show. Sure, Sammy Hagar is probably your guy. He's just going to stand there and sing the songs. You know, maybe you're into Sinatra. Maybe you like the crooners. But if you want like a badass show or somebody's jumping up and doing the splits and touching his toes and, you know, throwing his underwear out to the women because they're throwing his panties at him. I mean, this is David Lee Roth. If we're talking about stage presence and like showmanship, I mean, come on. This is a gimme slam dunk. I feel silly even having to argue this. I feel like this should just be an automatic 5 points to David Lee Roth and 0 to Sammy Hagar. I mean, come on.
That was interesting. I do think Larry, though, can actually talk to seeing Ronnie Millsap live. But
don't bring Ronnie into this.
You guys still have a minute and a half left.
Yeah, Heather, make your.
Okay.
Do you want to add to this?
I agree. It's a no-brainer. I mean, he does freaking gymnastics, and I mean that's near and dear to my heart. But yeah, I mean, he dresses all flashy and cool. It's completely nostalgic. First of all, you know, that's how we were introduced to Van Halen. Is this dude getting out there, you know, jumping around and literally touching and say he's a cheerleader and a gymnast. I mean, it's just freaking cool. There's no doubt about it. And yeah, Brandon's right. You know, if you want to just sit there and listen to a dude sing, then yeah, Sammy, I guess. But as far as frontmen go, there's no question. He captured.
Follow-up question for you.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that the reunited David Lee Roth lineup took that down a notch at all?
I mean, it took it down a notch, but it's still about 9 notches higher than Sammy Hagar in his prime. Like, I mean, okay, so Eminem had a diss track with Machine Gun Kelly, right? And he said, "I'd rather be 80-year-old me than 20-year-old you." That's like, I'd rather watch 80-year-old David Lee Roth than 20-year-old Sammy Hagar.
Absolutely.
I was wondering how long Machine Gun Kelly would enter the conversation.
Nice try to stay relevant, Brandon. That's good.
Yeah. Well, to paraphrase Dan Aykroyd from the 1970s Saturday Night Live, Brandon, you ignorant slut. Sammy Hagar is clearly the better front man. Sammy Hagar is the only person singing a song that caused my wife's eardrums to burst at a concert. That hasn't happened to other lead singers. And having seen Mr. Samuel Hagar live multiple times, he doesn't just stand there all, you know, prone and unable to move like, say, Brandon's wife when he comes out of the shower naked and she's scared. So that was a low blow. I apologize, Brandon.
Brandon likes low blows when he comes out of the shower naked.
Yeah, I think I add some points to Jack's argument. I actually like that.
But Sammy does not just stand there doing nothing. Now, does he leap around like a gymnast with bees in his pants? No, he doesn't do that. He's more cultured, more refined, more for the intellectual Van Halen listener.
What?
That's all I could come up with. Leave me alone.
Intellectual. I'm going to interject, though. real quick.
Hang on, we still got time.
Okay,
here.
no, you're right. You do.
No,
Go for
I got a timer going. I can stop it if you want.
All right. Put a pin in it, and there we go.
It was not Sammy who was responsible for my blown eardrum. That would have been Eddie Van Halen. So just saying.
I believe Sammy.
Wow. So Jack is
moment.
just straight up lies in his argument.
Sammy was singing.
No, it was when Eddie Van Halen was doing his riff all by himself, his little solo over there, remember? And he tripped over the
Lies,
amp and he
lies.
fell on his butt and didn't miss a beat.
You were
That's
drunk
what
off
happened.
your butt when we would.
No, I
How
was
would you-
not. No,
They
I
were-
was not.
Yeah, she was
18 years old.
she was trash drunk because she had to do something to have a good time at a same age. I get drunk too.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's all I had to say. I'm just saying it had nothing to do with Sammy.
Larry.
All right, Larry, what'd you have in there?
All right. So start mine off with a question. Has anyone ever seen David Lee Roth live?
Hmm.
Okay, I have. So that tells me everything I need to know. First of all, being a lead singer, a band frontman, whatever you want to say, doesn't require you to be excellent at gymnastics. I go to a lot of concerts, and commanding the stage, having a presence, as you stalk that bitch the way Sammy Hagar did when I saw him, it was phenomenal. Now, yeah, David Lee Roth, he can jump a mile in the air. Super. Well, I suppose that's some value if you want to see a guy do the splits. I don't want to know him like that. There's really no dude I want to know like that. I'd rather just have someone come rock my ass off, like I experienced when I saw Sammy Hagar. It wasn't the same. Both of them put on a decent enough show, but only one of them really had an encore you wanted. It was Sammy Hagar. And they were playing all their Van Halen stuff. Yeah, they were without without Eddie. But, Michael Anthony was playing with the one guy out there. He was playing with Sammy Hagar, and he was enjoying the hell out of it. That, to me, says everything about someone leading a band, the people who want to be around him. In the case of David Lee Roth, I could see, I have this vision in my mind. If we were in a band together, I saw that guy coming my way, I'd probably be like, yeah, I got to come up with an excuse to get out of here, because he doesn't, he may have some flash, some pop on stage. It doesn't really translate to great songs. It doesn't translate to a great show in and of itself. He can whip a microphone stand around, hit himself in the nose. That's cool. He did that in Jimmy Kimmel. That doesn't make him a great showman. That doesn't make him a great band leader. Sammy Hagar is the type of dude you want to sit down, have a beer with, enjoy life with him. You want to be in that band. You want to be on the front row enjoying every second of that and soaking it up. Not because some guy is just kind of a douche. You want to be there soaking up the hard rock, soaking up Sammy Hagar.
That's true.
That sounded a little bit dirtier than I expected.
Yeah. And I just want to say real quick, though, Larry and I have actually seen the greatest performance on stage, and that was the Diamond Cutter Neil Diamond. He blows both of those guys away. And you can laugh, but I am not bullshitting you.
I will.
Yeah,
Larry and I took our mothers.
I did not.
Now, just out of my curiosity, having not seen Van Halen at all live, unfortunately, how did Hagar handle the Roth tunes? Just irrelevant to the conversation. Just I'm curious.
He sang them.
Could he?
Yeah.
He sang them just fine. He didn't sing them like, oh God, I got to sing this old crap. He went in and sang everything, gave it all he had for each song. So yeah, he didn't look at it as I can't sing this. This wasn't my stuff. He went in, he sang all of the old stuff, which is more than the other guy does.
I mean, are we really basing stage presence on who would rather have beer and a conversation?
Exactly.
I don't care. I love having a beer and a conversation with Larry, but I don't want him leading Van Halen when I go see him. No offense, Larry.
No, you probably do. Take it back.
Yeah, that's actually true. I would actually pay good money to see Larry. Now that I think about it,
I would shred. I would absolutely shred.
Yeah.
Okay. Question one is done. I got my score. Should we release these per category, or do you want to wait till the end?
Let's wait till the end.
Oh,
That
till the
way we
end,
don't
yeah.
know what we have to
Yeah.
fight. Yeah.
Spoiler alert, it's 5-0 in favor of David.
You think it's 5-0 in favor of the douchebags? Okay. The guy can jump and do some kickity kicks. Woo!
Showmanship. Hello. It gets your attention.
All right.
Showmanship does
Question
not equal
number
stage
2.
present.
Question number 2. With a catalog that spans decades of hits across the board, which frontman brought more to the recording process as a songwriter?
See, that would
This
be
one goes to Hagar first.
okay. So if you're basing it strictly on album sales,
Just quality of the songs.
okay, quality of the songs, you got to go with Sammy Hagar. Sammy Hagar knows how to write a song, for one. He contributes to the music writing process, which David Lee Roth never did. That was always just, Eddie. He also knows how to play an instrument. So they were able to have an additional guitar on songs when they needed them.
Roth did play Ice Cream Man, though. So he played acoustic guitar in Ice Cream Man. I gotta interject.
Yeah. And he also knows how to produce and do all of that other stuff. So clearly he was bringing more than just I'm showing up and singing what Eddie tells me to sing. Larry?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously totally agree. I know this isn't about solo work. If you were to put the two against one another, it's not even close. It's clear one is a much better songwriter than the other. One's a much better artist than the other. But just looking at the Halen catalog, I mean, yeah, no one will dispute Van Halen 1 was an amazing album. It absolutely was. Literally had nothing to do with David Lee Roth, right? I mean, that was all magic brought by Eddie Van Halen, as most of it was up until Hagar came in and brought us the tunes, the refinement, as Jack stated earlier, for a smarter rock group, a more refined, smart rock group. Hagar just brought a lot more to Van Halen. There is no way right now would have ever been written and perfected the way, which is my favorite Van Halen too, by the way. There's no way that would have ever worked with David Lee Roth. There's just not.
Larry, that might be the smartest thing you've ever said in the history of me knowing you. I'm just
Said a lot of really smart shit, but at least I think it's smart. But other songs.
Go ahead.
No, Finish What You Started is my second favorite Van Halen song. And, Eddie and Sammy wrote that together. Just absolutely phenomenal, even though it's an acoustic jam, right? I mean, that whole thing is just, that's been one of my top songs forever. Right now, I kind of fell in love with it later on, honestly. But anyway, that is another, I don't see something that great coming out of a David Lee Roth session.
Yeah.
I just don't. And so for me, that's the big, like, my love affair with Sammy Hagar. It really revolves around, his body of work there with Halen, and those songs he brought up. They were just better in my mind than the ones that they had with David Lee Roth.
And after the Hagar song "Pound Cake" is the second greatest song about a female's behind after Baby Got Back. So there is, I don't think David Lee Roth even knows about how to write a song about a woman's hindside without just saying it outright, using that, bit of intellect needed to make it sound like maybe he really is talking about cake. But no, it was not.
So Brandon brought in Machine Gun Kelly. You brought in Sir Mix-a-Lot. Just keeping things even here.
Yeah.
I
So,
like that I like that he's giving the song credit for the subtlety, and yet it's not as good as "Baby Got Back" in all of its subtlety.
And it's the sheer audacity of Baby Got Back.
First of all, you're forgetting about Rump Shaker. You're forgetting about all about that bass. There are plenty of songs about women's backsides that are better than Pound Cake. Give me a break. All right. Is it our turn?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
For the record, though, none of those use a drill on the guitar.
On the guitar. Exactly.
Yeah, that does give it a little something extra.
Okay. So Larry and Jack are using the words intellect and refinement. We're talking about freaking Van Halen, guys. This is a party band. This is a rock fun party band. Hagar made them just like another forgettable solid pop rock band. David Lee Roth brought the rock. Okay, listen. Aretha Franklin was a much better singer and vocalist than Vince Neil. Can we all agree with that? Yes.
Yes.
Now, does anybody want her singing Kickstart My Heart?
Yes.
No.
Yes, I in fact do.
No.
That would be amazing.
I'd pay money for that.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Actually.
And look,
I love
Larry
remakes.
Roth brings up right now, and like David Lee Roth couldn't sing that. All right, look, Sammy Hagar, Hot for Teacher would have never worked with Sammy Hagar. Like when Sammy Hagar sings Hot for Teacher, I assume he means in like a completely platonic, respectful way. Like the only after class activity he saw it for is like math tutoring or something. David, like when David Lee Roth sang it, I believe he truly wants to get it on like Donkey Kong with his teacher. This is Van Halen we're talking about, a party band, and David Lee Roth brings it. Look, Van Halen's biggest album of all time, 1984, that's David Lee Roth. Their biggest song of all time, Jump, that's David Lee Roth. All the songs, if you go to karaoke,
Jump sucks.
if you go to karaoke, if you go to some rock show, if somebody's covering their head, it's going to be Jump, Hot for Teacher, Panama. It's going to be all that Running with the Devil. It's going to be all those David Lee Roth songs. Nobody gives a crap about those Hagar songs. It's like, go ahead, Heather. Sorry, I feel like I'm talking.
I mean, you're pretty much nailing what I was going
Just to correct you, Van Halen 1 sold more albums than 1984, so you were completely wrong.
Oh, well, both David Lee Roth.
Already acknowledged Van Halen 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the top. Oh, that just further proves my point, Jack. Thank you. The top two Van Halen albums of all time are both David Lee Roth.
That doesn't mean that it's better. I mean, there are plenty of movies that have sold more than others. So go
Add
ahead.
another variable. Didn't the Hagar era have, was it 4 straight #1 albums?
Yes, I believe you are correct. The only #1 albums that Van Halen had. And the other thing, too, while you're talking numbers, yes, they sold more with David Lee Roth, but he had 7 albums, and Sammy Hagar only had 5. So he had 2 more chances. Anyway.
If you like per average, I believe it still goes to David Lee Roth. But I can't back that up. I don't know.
I'm not going to math that part.
I'll call BS because no one knows any different.
That's right.
I mean,
I believe if you just take Van Halen and 1984 together, that pretty much does it.
right.
Well, yeah, but then you're forgetting all the covers and the rest of the albums. Oh wait, they didn't actually write those. Sorry, I'm not supposed to take sides.
No, I was
Yeah, cool.
I was fully prepared to talk about Van Halen too. I'm sorry, Diver Down, nothing but cover songs, and they all sucked. You asked if you want to hear Aretha Franklin sing anything. Yeah, give me her singing anything. I don't need David Lee Roth singing cover tunes. The guy can't sing.
Yeah, but
love
would you
some
rather
cover
hear
songs.
Aretha Franklin or Vince Neil sing "Kickstart My Heart" with Motley Crue?
I'm not a big Crew fan, so I'd rather hear Aretha
Oh my
Franklin.
God.
Oh yeah, I was thinking more of having it Aretha Franklin style, not as the lead
That's
singer.
exactly right.
Okay, all right, let's switch it. Welcome to the Jungle with Axl Rose, or Welcome to the Jungle with Aretha Franklin or Luciano Pavarotti, both immaculate singers.
That would still be interesting with Aretha
Oh
Franklin.
my God. Whatever.
Actually,
I would rather hear Axl Rose. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
We're talking about David Lee Roth, who cannot sing, and Sammy Hagar, who can. So
earlier,
But again, that goes back to my point. Like I'm
But he can
admitting
jump
that
and
Sammy
flip
Hagar
and
is
spit and
better
stuff.
singer, but that doesn't
But
mean
the,
he's
the,
better.
the category was about recording process as a songwriter.
yeah.
Yeah, David Lee Roth's nowhere in the conversation. Come on, we're kidding ourselves.
And while we're talking about alternate lead singers, Heather and I, before the podcast started, were talking about somewhere in the multiverse of madness is a Van Halen that after Sammy Hagar left, Patti LaBelle was the lead singer.
I would like to
that.
see that. Yeah. All right. Category 3 is kind of a loaded question
Okay.
because it all depends on your point of view. So this should be an interesting one. Which era of the band had the most top hits? So this could vary from your point of view of what designates a hit, which chart. I do have numbers in front of me, so I'm just kind of curious on the how this panel debates this.
This
Go with Team Roth.
You or me, Heather?
Go for it. I'm looking up something.
I mean, again, this comes down to when you're talking about vintage Van Halen. If I went out to the streets and I asked 100 people to tell me their favorite Van Halen songs, like we're talking at least 80% of people, 85% of people are going to say the words Jump, Hot for Teacher, You Really Got Me, Running with the Devil, So This Is Love. I mean, it's going to all be David Lee Roth. Panama, of course. It's all. Nobody's going to mention the Sammy Hagar stuff. The other 15% I left out, like Jack and Larry are two of them. Then, you know, a bunch of guys who don't know who Van Halen are going to say Hagar too. Like everybody's going to say David Lee Roth. I mean, if we're talking about Van Halen's most iconic songs, the songs that have kind of stood the test of time. If you listen to, you know, classic rock radio, what's going to come up? It's going to be David Lee Roth stuff.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it goes to, because that's, again, like I said earlier, that's how we were introduced to Van Halen. That's, you know, all of those things, of course, 80s, you know, that sticks in your head when you grew up in the 80s. And, you know, those are what I remember first. Those are the first things that I think about, just like what you were saying, Brandon. So to me, yeah, it's the first thing that people are going to think of, in my opinion, is going to be David Lee Roth. The 80s stuff, the early or mid 80s stuff.
Team Hagar?
I'm sorry, they were just repeating this, droning the same stuff over and over, and I zoned out. I quit listening. You can only hear Brandon repeat the same thing so many times before you fall asleep. Yeah, okay, you know, Jump was big and got played a lot on MTV. You know, but to sit there and act like people aren't going to mention the Sammy Hagar song is just insane. Did you bang your head and have a concussion? You know, so many, like he right here, right now, that song gets played in commercials all the time. You don't hear the David Lee Roth stuff getting played in commercials. And you know why? Because everybody knows if you want to sell some shit, you have to have Sammy Hagar.
It's overplayed.
Even his Tequila was a top 20 hit. And now his Rum, because he's contractually obligated to never sell tequila again.
Really?
Yeah, when he sold the tequila, that was part of his deal. That's why I switched to rum. But Larry, if you could, I don't know if you were able to stay awake during Brandon's rant or not, if you'd like to mention something.
Yeah, so for me, okay, I think a little younger than others. So I would just say my first memories of Van Halen were post David Lee Roth. Okay. I mean, I would.
Yeah, you were a little bitty kid.
Yeah, I would have been 5 when when Hagar came around, moving into 6, something like that.
Yeah, so you don't count.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you know I haven't. I just want to see the Who. I love the old stuff. Come on, But it comes down to me. For me, top hits is kind of relative, and the big qualifier is where was Eddie Van Halen at in the process. So I think his taste changed, and his entire artistic kind of inspiration direction he was going, I should say, was changing. I mean, I hate Jump to this day. I hated it the first time I ever heard it. It just, for whatever reason, that's a no fly for me. That one doesn't work. But they started moving kind of that direction. And what I think now, we're kind of reflecting back, is that Hagar made that stuff better than where it was going. He left his fingerprints on the band by making it better than their last couple Van Halen albums with David Lee Roth. I thought 1984 was good. Actually, in fact, I thought it was great. I thought Van Halen 1 was great. But Jump and the way you saw a lot of the misses that were filler material on a lot of those albums, the latter albums with David Lee Roth, they're not there with Hagar. So I can listen to the Hagar albums front to back without skipping anything. The entire quality of the album is better than most of the David Lee Roth things. Now, again, that's relative to my perspective because that's what I was raised on, and that's what I fell in love with, and still what I like to this day. And I mean, Van Halen's not in my top 20 bands, but if you give me one singer over the other preference, it's going to be Hagar every time.
And
those were my hits.
Well, to piggyback on that, Jump was the biggest hit with David Lee Roth, and he didn't like that song. He didn't want to record it with the synthesizers. The thing that it's known for, Roth doesn't like it.
Every great band has their one overplayed song that once you dive deeper into the catalog, you realize, man, that's mid-tier. There's so many songs better. Whether it's your Sweet Home Alabama or pick any other overplayed song. And I agree, Jump is overplayed. They have better songs, but Jump is the only number one hit.
Moderate, can I add one more point to this as a rebuttal?
Yes, you can.
So I'd like to get back to, the actual subject was hits, not like deep cuts and personal favorites. So since we're talking about hits, if you look at the Spotify top 5 for Van Halen, which tracks the most played songs by people when they're listening to Van Halen, number 1, Jump. Number 2, Panama. Number 3, Running with the Devil. Number 4, Hot for Teacher. Number 5, You Really Got Me. That is a clean sweep. David Lee Roth. Thank you. We'll take our 5 points.
Is that, and that's
Spotify also pays a shit ton of money to Joe Rogan. So what do they need?
Oh my God.
To be clear, does Spotify, because I don't know, I'm old school, I'll listen to records. Does Spotify count just Spotify stuff that young people who are dumbasses would only consider?
Everybody.
And they track, they have every Van Halen album.
Oh, young people and Brandon. I mean, it's their audience, right? Their audience people is young people and Brandon.
Jack, are you able to unlock it so I can share my screen?
I should be able to. Let me look down here.
I'm undecided on this category. I was hoping to share something to generate some sort of deciding either way.
That's a nice way of saying no one. That's a nice way of saying no one made a compelling argument yet.
No, both are too compelling is the problem. All right, here you go. This is the Hot 100 records here, or singles. So if you look at number 1s, Roth, top 10s, Hagar, top 20, Roth has more, top 40, Hagar has more, top 100, Roth has more. So it's quite the versatile spread there.
That is true. Fortunately, with that false news of Brandon, that fake news Brandon's throwing it. Go ahead, Brandon.
No, I think that, we're recording this podcast in 2022. So these chart performances are, important, but now we're looking at which ones stood the test of time, which ones ended up being the most iconic, and their 5 most iconic songs are all David Lee Roth. So if we were to rank all these, chart performances, the top 5 would end up being David Lee Roth.
Right.
What are you putting ahead of right now, just so we're clear?
I mean, the people of the world are putting all those 5 songs that I listed
All
above
of
right now.
On Spotify.
It's not me. Let me tell you how many people. It's exactly 587 million people are putting Jump above right now. 249 million Panama. 170 million Running with the Devil. 127 million Hot for Teacher, and 95 million You Really Got Me. Right now, it isn't charting, so I can't tell you how many listens it has.
That is a lot of wrong opinions.
So those people were talking about the hits from back when they were, I'd say, a little more relevant is what we're looking at here. And you're saying
It's current.
because you're saying current with Spotify. I just don't know.
It is a valid argument. It's a good point.
I don't even know what Spotify is.
Oh my God. And I'm older than you.
Okay. Brandon, can you look up the Neil Young top charts? Oh wait. Oh, sorry. No.
You know what? I bet none of those dumbasses have Stevie Wonder above any of this Van Halen stuff either. So that tells me everything I need to know. They sure as shit don't have the Who, and they don't have the. So I don't want to know what these bums think about music.
So because you're an old fart at heart, everybody else is wrong?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at Stevie's, and to make you feel better, Larry, Stevie does have more monthly listens than Van Halen does. He's got 16 million monthly listeners. His top songs are Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I Just Called to Say I Love You, Superstition, For Once in My Life, and Sir Duke. And I would say those are probably the 5 most popular, not best, but 5 most popular
Right.
Stevie songs.
Most popular.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't take this trip with you.
I have my category 3 resolved. Okay. And before we get into my 2 categories, I want to tell Larry that I have a Quadrophenia episode coming up in a couple weeks, so you might enjoy that one.
Oh my God!
Disagree with-
Yes,
Yeah, it's over 2 hours long. It was a hell of a conversation.
the album or the conversation. Okay, yeah, I got you.
The conversation it's with a Who super fan, so we dove in deep.
Cool.
All right, so now we get into my 2 questions here. What era of the band produced the best music videos? And I'll throw this to Roth.
I mean, duh.
This is not as easy as you think.
No. Well, here's my thinking. Okay. The 80s, obviously. I remember the first day that MTV played. I remember, when videos became a thing.
You're old.
Whatever, you're older than me. But it was like, I think August. It was right before school started. It's summertime. And my sister and I, we're like, holy shit, we found it. It was awesome. And, and so that's when like videos became a thing. So I'm automatically going to say David Lee Roth because, again, it goes with the showmanship. They were awesome. They were like funny to watch. They were cool. It was, everybody sang along because, like Brandon said, they're, most popular songs. And so it's like I don't know, maybe I'm just nostalgic, but to me, that was the birth of videos, and so watching David Lee Roth, of course, yes, I'm going to go back to doing gymnastics and cheerleading and stuff like that, but also flashy, and that was so 80s that, dressing the way that he dressed and, being a ninja on stage and stuff like that was just freaking cool. So, I mean, how can you, to me, it's blatant. It's obvious. Brandon?
I mean, this is easy for me. It's David Lee Roth. And why? Because I can actually think of every single one of those videos and what they were and what they looked like. I cannot think of a single Sammy Hagar video. I don't, but these weren't as popular. And I probably just didn't care to watch them because it was Sammy Hagar. But just for the simple fact that I assume a lot of people listening and Van Halen fans could actually tell you what the Jump video or all these videos looked like and felt like and how much fun they were. And again, I agree with Heather. When you're watching videos, you just want to be fun. I mean, you're watching 3 or 4 minutes. You just want to have a good time, have some good visuals. And that's David Lee Roth. I have no idea what any of those Sammy Hagar videos are about. And I'm good with that.
And see, I have to interject too. I mean, be part of that too, is that and I'm going to tell my little story. My sister and I were both gymnasts back in the day, and we liked to. I'm going to bring up jump again, but every time the word jump came up in the song, we would challenge each other to do a back handspring. And so, tell you what, it wears the shit out of you. But we laughed so much, and I'm going to associate that with that because we're watching a video, and he's so energetic, and it makes you just like want to go, and that's what it's all about. It's just being involved and singing along, and it's fun.
Team Hagar, what say ye?
The only thing about 80s music videos that really needs to be said is the word spandex. And just because you have a fondness for looking at men in spandex doesn't mean that they're better videos.
Oh, but
which is incidentally how Jack snagged hip like that.
That is entirely true.
It lifts and separates, Jack. It lifts and separates.
That is true. It is amazing what can happen when you have a banana in your spandex. But yes, I will grant you that there were some memorable videos, from the 80s by Van Halen. But have you seen the California Girls video? Sort of plain and humdrum. And it had a lot of women in bikinis, and it was still kind of plain.
Oh, my God.
I'm just going to say, once again, the Right Now video, that brings tears to you.
No, it did.
Did Jack just make our arguments for us? He's talking about
Yeah, I did.
hot girls and bikinis, and that's supposed to be.
I was about to chime in as that's irrelevant, but then he brought it back to right now. So
Yeah, but that's all he said. What about
Yeah, well, he said despite the girls, it was still lame.
Nah.
And
Yeah.
listen, I never had MTV. I'm from Piedmont, Oklahoma, man. We didn't have that as an option. And I did go over to some friends' houses who had the cable, and every now and again would see some. But we're talking like strictly the latter day Halen, so probably not fair as far as that goes. But I remember seeing some of like VH1 classic stuff, for the early Halen. It just always seemed cheesy to me. Hot for Teacher, that video seemed cheesy. California Girls seemed cheesy. Again, and don't try to come in here, by the way, and try to improve something the Beach Boys did. Don't you dare. That's all I can say.
you don't want to talk David's bluegrass version of Jump then either? Is that?
I can honestly say I've never heard that. So
don't Google that one.
I've got a question for the panel. It's kind of like,
you don't get to ask the questions here.
Yeah, you do.
If a tree,
I'll allow it.
Thank you. If a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, did it actually make a sound? That's like Sammy Hagar. Like if Sammy Hagar led some Van Halen videos, but nobody watched them, do they even matter?
Exactly.
Here's where I struggle with this. See, my two favorite videos, almost of all time, are Hot for Teacher and Right Now.
Mm-hmm.
They're like dead even. They're say two great bands, and they're two phenomenal videos in two completely different ways.
Very much so.
That is true.
So I got a question for you, Brandon. If a tree falls in the forest and its name's David Lee Roth, is it still terrible at singing?
Irrelevant.
Some people think cucumbers taste better pickled. I don't know.
What? What? I don't know. Does the tree fall down in spandex while doing the splits?
Hello.
The tree falls down all the time because he's disabled now. If you see that dude move.
Yeah, because he gave us his all back then.
I think he gave his all because he was probably getting a lot of women's all.
And?
You're probably right about that. If ever there was here's a bonus question. Which lead singer of Van Halen has had the most STDs?
That's not,
I mean, is that the way you saw this going?
No.
I don't have enough research done on Gary to answer.
Do you want the leader of your rock band that you're into, your party rock band, to be abstinent?
Right?
Or do you want him to be Wilt Chamberlain? Give me Wilt.
First of all, Sammy has like 12 kids.
Nice, Sammy.
Family man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it family necessarily.
like 8 of them are with his current wife, who he's been married with for
Oh, well, that's
40
Right.
years.
So that didn't make him a party dude.
Doesn't mean that he's not getting a lot of poo nanny.
Oh my God. That's not what he said.
He's
All
just
right.
getting it
Let me
non-STD.
move on to the final question.
Please.
question.
Get the crowbar. Toe strap if
All right.
you have to. Get us out of here.
This one will hopefully make you think of something here to bring it out. Which era of the band produced the best single song lyric?
Oh, my goodness. I need a second.
Yeah. And the one that is not included because it is the best and cannot be beat is I Don't Feel Tardy. So that one, it cannot be used. It cannot be beat. It's just kind of outside the argument.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I gotta pull something up. I just want to make sure I quote the lyric correctly.
And I think
like-
I think it's Team Roth's turn to go first. Yeah.
I'm thinking, man. See,
In this one, I really have no
God damn it.
predilection. This is all personal preference. This is going to be entirely based on the lyrics you come up with and your personal argument.
okay.
All right, give me.
That's a lot of brain power at the moment. Hang on.
You're going to have to edit a lot of this out. Jack.
Yeah.
I'm editing none of this out.
Oh my God.
Just add in the Jeopardy music and you're good.
Yeah, yeah.
We're all just thinking too much.
Well, I'll go ahead and just so we don't have blank airspace,
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and throw this out there from the aforementioned Excellent Right Now. Miss the beat, you lose the rhythm, and nothing falls into place. Only missed by a fraction, slipped a little off your pace. Not only is that a perfect line about songs, that's also life in general. You know, it could be everything's going along fine. You just zigged when you should have zagged, and you slipped a little off your pace. It's beautiful. Dave can't write that. I don't even know if Dave knows how to write.
Oh my God.
That was a good lyric. That's the video where they even say, right now we should listen to the lyrics. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, okay. I do actually remember that little bit of the video.
Whatever. You remember it well.
Do I?
Team Roth, do you have a lyric?
Freaking think of any.
Here's the deal. I've already admitted, to the intellect and refinement of the Hagar era, but I see that as a negative when we're looking.
No. Let me quantify the question here. It can be a fun lyric. It can be
Right.
about being someone's ice cream. I'm cool with that.
Right.
Okay.
And that's where I'm going with it.
It doesn't have to be profound.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's where I'm going.
Okay.
So with that in mind, that Van Halen is supposed to be a fun rock band.
Yeah.
I haven't looked anything up. I'm just going to say, when I'm listening to my fun rock band, I want to hear the words, I got it bad, got it bad, got it bad. I'm hot for teacher. It's simple. Give me the good stuff.
I like it. It's
Okay.
good.
Larry, you got anything?
I don't feel tardy.
Man, I don't. I've been sitting here trying to think, and I love Right Now, but I'm trying to think of a lyric outside of that I'd go with.
How telling is it that nobody can come up with a good lyric from either era when the strength of Hagar's was supposed to be the refinement and intellect? Yet we're sitting here at a stalemate.
It's
Interesting.
It's the pressure of having just had that thrown at you. Sometimes something happens and you just can't move forward.
That's why it's good that this was a impromptu one.
Yeah.
You guys had no time to prepare for this.
Yeah.
Do you guys hear me again?
Yes.
Yeah, we
We got you. Got you now.
Holy cow. Just kicked me right off.
Hmm.
Anyway, I didn't come up with anything while I was off.
Well, I mean, there's, yeah, that was definitely a curveball that I don't think any of us saw coming. That was a good one, Stephen. That you brought this podcast down to its knees.
Oh, I'm still thinking. I'm like, tomorrow it's going to like occur to me or something. I'll be at work going,
Dang it.
Heather, right now is your tomorrow.
oh God.
It means everything.
Yeah.
Which is a good lyric.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But y'all keep going to right now. That's all you keep going to. So
Right.
Well,
apparently the Hagar era was right now.
apparently
So right now
Well-
versus
everything else.
All I know is when we're done with this, I'm going to go in there to Heather and I'm going to say, let me get on some of that.
God.
Shake it up, bake it up nice.
You're going to say pound cake. Yeah.
And I'm going to say, I so love my baby's pound cake.
You're such a dork.
I was going to have my final question be, what is the best album title? But nothing can beat For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge to me. So
Yeah,
I
that-
didn't feel that was fair. That's
No.
clever and graphic and just all things all at once. I love that album title.
I agree with you on that one. Whatever side of the argument I'm making, I think, yeah.
Was there some kind of acronym they were going for there? Or
I don't
something?
know. I don't know what you're trying.
Yeah. I don't know.
Apparently, it dates back to when someone got put in the stocks back in like Puritan era or whatever. Or, what was their charge? Well, they were put in there for unlawful carnal knowledge.
Yep.
That is,
And Brandon tried to say that Sammy couldn't get down. Come on.
No.
all right.
How about ain't talking about love? My love is rotten to the core. So there you go.
I'm going to repeat the point, as the moderator's taking points here, that the biggest strength of Hagar's era was supposed to be intellect and refinement, and yet they
Keep
can't come up
going
with
right now.
They
What are you
can't come
talking
up
about?
with a single good lyric. So
I came up with 2 easily. Larry's currently in Durant, Oklahoma, so I understand that, that might have affected him and he might just be, having a hard time having all the, parts of his brain tap into the old lyrics
my
because he's in Durant, Oklahoma. And the only thing being played there is Clint Black. So I think we're about to find out who won. It looks like a point that some maths is occurring.
Yeah.
Thank God there's no algebra involved or geometry with this. It's just good old fashioned plus and
Lesson.
addition. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Higgins is ringing the bell.
Hey, can you guys hear me again?
Yep.
Yes.
Golly. Sorry, I keep getting locked up and everything.
while the judge is calculating the points, can I throw out a suggestion for our next debate?
Sure.
The
Stevie Wonder versus Ray Charles.
Oh my God.
I will do that. It may end me and Larry's 30-year friendship, but I'd be willing to do that.
Oh,
No, I promise it will. I will murder you.
It was mentioned earlier. Can you bring Ronnie Millsap into that mix?
Oh my God, blind piano player. Make it a trifecta.
Yeah, let's just say Ronnie would be my number 2.
You're going to have to stand before God one day in judgment and explain what you just said.
I was going to suggest the Garth Brooks era or the Chris Gaines era.
oh shit!
Clearly, Chris Gaines.
Ouch!
To me, that's about as close as David Lee Roth versus Sammy Hagar. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see where
Right?
David Lee Roth would
One
be
was
Chris
a clown.
Oh my god.
Yeah, one was a clown. One was a serious artist.
I could see where David Lee Roth would be Chris Gaines. I could see how you would make that connection.
I'm sorry. David Lee Roth is the OG. That's
Both
very
wants to
stupid.
make up. Yeah, probably.
All right, you guys ready?
Everybody for 80s makeup.
Well, we'll go category guy by category here.
Okay.
I'm sure there'll be some hurt feelings along the way. Category 1, which was stage presence. Hagar gave him a 3.
Okay.
Roth gave him a 5.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to.
It's a given.
It is. Now, for songwriter, Roth got a 3.
I'll take it.
Hagar, got to give him a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're tied. You are tied. The what was 3 here? Top hits, 4s across the board.
Ooh.
Equal arguments. You guys got kind of tied on that one. And category 4, best music video. Neither one of you swayed me either way from my favorites, so 3s across the board.
Oh, this is exciting.
Oh, we're coming down to it. Nail biter.
Shit.
Category 5, best song lyric. For Team Roth, 3. Team Hagar, 4.
Damn.
Oh, yes. It's in your face. Yes. It's in your face.
Whatever.
Yes.
Barely. Don't even.
Heather and Brandon, you guys are the guy in the airplane, and we're Mike Tyson.
Barely. You barely eked by.
Just
Don't
a
even.
little. Hey, barely.
Only takes one.
If I won the Super Bowl barely, I'd still be a Super Bowl champion.
It only takes one.
Yeah, but it's not like you beat us like a drum. Shut up.
It was a great battle. It was a great debate. I think that everyone can agree they should have just changed their name to Van Hagar.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Wait. That's odd. That implies some preconceived bias from the judge.
Don't
that I'm
start
thinking of.
whining.
Ooh.
Don't start
Brandon,
whining. What does that have to do with it?
You talk about the Thunder from a preconceived bias every day on the
I'm just
franchise.
I'm just kidding. I'm
I think the real winner
to
here.
fight.
The real winner here is Gary Sharon.
That's right. Because he still comes in third.
Wait, what happened? I missed it.
He said the real winner is Gary Sharon.
He is the honorary winner of this debate.
So just so we're not speaking ill of Gary, I pointed this out before we started the debate at some point over text. When he signed on to Van Halen, he came to his audition wearing a T-shirt that would have required the largest set of stones for any audition
True.
anyone ever showed up for. He showed up wearing a T-shirt that said, "Who the F is Eddie Van Halen?"
That's good.
That is true. That is the one positive of the Van Sharon.
So he
Era.
gets a 5 for T-shirt game.
Yes, that's definitely an honorable mention.
And to give Gary some credit here, say some kind words for him. The man has an amazing voice. He has an amazing stage presence. He walked into a pretty much impossible situation. There was no way to come out on top.
That's true.
They wanted him to be like David Lee Roth on stage, and they wanted him to sound like Hagar, and they tried to force something that just wasn't it. I think that if they would have taken more time, wrote better songs, and let him sing like he's supposed to sing and not scream god-awful nothingness, it would have had a better chance of succeeding. And Josephina is still a decent tune.
I
Stand by that.
yes. I can agree with that. I do
The
think
rest of the
Gary
album is
Sharon was-
god-awful.
Gary Sharon was put in an impossible situation.
And they also completely dumbed down on that album Michael Anthony, which is a lead into Jack's end question here. Who's a better bassist, Michael Anthony or Wolfgang Van Halen? On Van Halen 3, they not only did they turn down his bass just overall, and I think Eddie actually played a lot of the bass on the album.
That's right.
You didn't hear his background vocals, which are essential to Van Halen.
Absolutely. They're one of the greatest vocal groups of all time because of their backing vocals. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So clearly, the winner is Michael Anthony.
No.
I don't know much about Wolfgang.
You've never even heard of Wolfgang Van Halen.
Dude, let me tell you about Wolfgang. He is Eddie Van Halen.
He's the son of Eddie Van Halen. So what?
Yeah, and he's Valerie Bertinelli's son. That's a double whammy. And he was playing with Van Halen when he was 15 years old. 15.
Okay.
And he was conceived in a cocaine rage. Evenings of
Steve
lust.
Winwood played with Spencer Davis when he was like 14, and he was actually good. Who cares?
Yeah, you thought it was amazing.
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, but Wolfgang, no, just stop.
Tito Jackson played with Michael Jackson when he was 5. Oh, that's a different podcast. Never mind.
His name was Wolfgang Van Halen. Name 3 names even better than that. 5. You don't know any better than that.
Actually, I do.
Van Halen. It's all about show and flash. Even Eddie knew. He named his kid Wolfgang Van Halen. He didn't name it some refined intellectual name.
No, the strongman guy, Magnus von Magnuson, has a better name.
What'd you say?
The strongman athlete dude, Magnus von Magnuson. That's the better name.
Look, there's only one Anthony Michael worth knowing, and that's Anthony Michael Hall.
Thank
Nobody
you.
cares about Michael.
Thank you. Yes.
You say his name right. Get out of here.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm discerning to the
Stop. Just stop. You have lost your marbles.
I gotta ask this though: does Wolfgang sing? Does he do backup vocals in the same vein?
No.
I have no clue. I just learned about him earlier today on Google.
He's actually mute.
He only got the job because of his dad. If he came off the street, he wouldn't have got that job. No. His dad, I'm going to teach him to play bass in case at some point something happens, and I'll have a backup. That's the only reason he knocked up Ballard.
Wow. Oh my God.
He's the Donnie Jr. of the group, all right?
Yeah, well, you want to know who else only got their job because of their dad?
No.
John Dutton.
What? Huh? Is that a Yellowstone reference?
Yeah, it's a Yellowstone reference. It was the first nepotism I could think of.
You're trying way too hard now. And you just wanted to work in nepotism to try and make yourself sound really smart.
I did. I'm still trying to make up that 1 point. I'm hoping we get a reversal of the standard.
At least a tie, damn it.
He's rubbing his head. I think he's done.
An hour later, Brandon's going to have a song lyric. Oh, wait.
Nobody even remember. I don't even remember what song lyric beat ours. I don't even remember. Did y'all? I know Larry didn't come up with one. He didn't have internet for 10 minutes during that segment, and still somehow y'all beat us.
It should be out of the lyric.
Well,
Right now, we should listen to the lyrics.
We also
Bias.
That's true. So I'm just going to add real quick that I was usually laughing so hard at what Brandon just said that I had a hard time coming up with any sort of retort because I was too busy laughing. So there's that. But I'm glad we did this. This was a lot of fun. The most serious thing that has probably been discussed in the podcasting world in the last 6 months.
Absolutely.
And we're all still friends, right?
I don't know. Larry and Brandon might not be talking.
We're gonna have to have a little. We're gonna have to talk it out.
Yeah.
I mean, we go back to
It had nothing to do with
Stevie
Van
versus
Halen.
Ray Charles thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it had nothing to do with Van Halen, so it's not your fault, Jack.
Oh, okay.
Well, Jack,
But I will say he got the reference on the cucumber pickled thing. So, Brandon, you're still with me.
So,
Thank you.
Felt
Yeah,
so.
still with me.
Jack, you don't have to sleep on the couch. I'll be nice.
Well, yeah, it's too much trouble to move my CPAP.
Right, exactly.
Usually when you're mad at me, you go sleep on the couch.
Brandon, I've got a king down here in Durand if you want to come down.
Aw, bro love.
I appreciate that. Hold on, let me make a mixtape of all my favorite David Lee Roth songs, and I had that.
Nice.
I don't think he has just David Lee Roth songs. You're maybe thinking of Sammy Hagar songs?
Actually, he's thinking of Barry White.
Honestly, I'd take Barry White over both Eddie Van Halen and Stephen Epley.
Well, this has been loads of fun. Stephen, would you like to plug the things that you have to plug real quick?
Right now, season 2 of Music Rewind is hitting the airwaves. I'll start recording season 3 in the near future. We've got Jack's episode on the Flaming Lips. The Soft Bulletin is out there for everyone to listen to. Some new episodes about Neil Young's Live Rust and Common's B album. And next week will be Bruce Springsteen, Nebraska.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought I was muted.
You just said like all of Larry's favorite things.
Did we just become best friends?
I think we did.
You just took my spot, buddy.
I'm sorry. Start over. I'm really sorry.
And after Nebraska, we have the Quadrophenia episode. So every season 2 is rolling along. My podcast is where people come on and we talk about a favorite album of theirs, and we just talk about the stories and memories behind it. And it's a lot of fun. Music Rewind. Please check it out.
Yes. And Brandon, would you like to plug your plug? Because when you talk about Thunder, your opinion is at least right on that one most of the time, unlike this topic.
Yeah, I know much more about. I'm much more educated on the Thunder and BA than I am Sammy Hagar. It's I write for dailythunder.com. You can find me on Twitter at Brandon Rabar. And yeah, I pretty much talk Thunder and NBA all the time. That's my lane. That's what I'm usually talking about on these podcasts. And
all right,
unless Larry asked me to go on his to talk about little Celine Dion. That's about the only other time I get outside my lane.
You son of a bitch.
Now, Larry, I know you don't have any podcasts or radio things to plug. So would you like to give, as somebody that's a safety nerd in the industrial world, would you like to give a work safety tip in its place?
Put him on his.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what it was Jerry Springer used to say when he signed off. Take care of yourselves and each other. Is that kind of thing?
Nice.
I like that. Yeah, that's what it was.
Really, that's what it comes down to, right? It's just about caring for people, man. That's what safety is. That's why I get to carry out my mission every day. I want to care about people.
There you go. And Heather, I know you also don't have any podcasts or anything like that, but would you like to plug that when you purchase gasoline, that when it says there's a $75 maximum, there's a hold on your credit card for a bit until that's done? Would you like to quickly explain that, or did I do a good enough job?
Well, for the most part, people just need to understand basic banking and how shit works on their credit card.
There you go. Go to Skillshare and you can learn basic banking. That's Heather's bit of advice.
If you have checks, you have money. That's how it works.
Oh,
Yes. That's why I don't have checks, because I have no money. All right. All righty. Well, this has been loads of fun. I really enjoyed it. Listening, friends, I hope you guys had as much fun as we did and had as many laughs as we did. And with that, I'm gonna sign off, and we'll talk to you next time. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you. See y'all later.
Thank you for listening to Musings of an ADD Mind. If you enjoyed this podcast, or even if you didn't, please hit the subscribe or follow button.
A podcast from the Sidereal Media Group. Back to you, anchors.